The wind of change could bring some changes to the upper echelons of power in the United States. Wall Street is anticipating positive changes. The midterm election has been dominating headlines recently. Historically, it has always been a high-impact event for the stock market. Meanwhile, the crypto market has gone into a tailspin, while the stock market is in suspense. InstaForex analysts are ready to explain the underlying reasons and share their daily forecasts. As expected, the benchmark stock indexes took advantage of the information pause to gain ground. They are making efforts to recover losses. Growing optimism among investors encouraged Wall Street indexes to regain their footing. Yesterday, the Dow Jones rose 1.31%, the Nasdaq grew a modest 0.85%, the S&P 500 gained 0.96% to close at 3,806 points. The New York pre-market also reveals fragile optimism. The major indexes traded sluggishly, though with a minor growth. Futures on the stock indexes indicate the quiet session ahead and the wait-and-see mood. The S&P 500 is expected to trade in the intraday corridor between 3,740 and 3,890 points. All in all, Wall Street has been trying to keep optimism since Friday. 9 out of 11 sectors included in the S&P rose on a Monday, with the communications and the energy sectors taking the lead. On the other hand, the retail and utility sectors are lagging behind. The high-tech sector is trading under pressure. Tesla stock slumped to the lowest level since June 2021, having lost 5% on Monday. The reason is Elon Musk's Twitter deal. Investors are worried by mounting losses, which might force Elon Musk to sell some of his Tesla shares. Stock investors are sitting on the sidelines of the midterm election in the United States. The control of the House of Representatives is at stake. The forecast suggests that the Republicans have a high chance